And we're live. Walter, how's it going, man? How you doing? Bug, how's it going? Luvion. Nagato, how's it going? Yeah, Walter, for some reason, because this one is pulled straight through Streamlabs, the YouTube emojis don't work. This is the same sort of setup that, Easy used to use before I got him to change it. Yeah, this one doesn't show, a thing. Don't worry, I'm just doing something really quick, and then we'll go back to the regular screen where it'll work. Give me just 2 seconds. Basak Frank, how's it going, man? Santa, how's it going? Alright, that's good. Ravings again? Oh yeah, I know Easy's live, yeah. There's it going, guys. What? Oh, wait, fuck. Sorry, give me 1 second. Realized I forgot something. Fuck. You missed server P? No, Nagito. I was there for the wedding for like a brief second. Not because I was at work, so I wasn't there for too long. I'm back. And of course, the fucking chat on this screen is just disabled altogether. I love that. That's way better. Oh, we can do 11.99, Livian, I guess. Fuck. By the way, is it? Oh, thank you, Easy. Say, just let him know I say what's up, back. Does wait, is this stream buffering for anyone, or is it okay? I think 11.99. Okay, yeah, we can stop there, Livian. That's good. I'm home tomorrow, so we can do a morning stream. So it's okay. Milo, how's it going, man? Fuck you. God, that hair looks so cooked. Oh, that looks even worse. What the fuck is wrong with my hair? There you go. That's fine. Okay, wait. Okay. The cook. Okay. Bullseye, how's it going, man? So, Freak. Oh, you're kidding. How close are we to the end? We're getting close, man. We're like 150 chapters from the main ending. And then obviously the side stories, but 150 chapters, dude, that's fucking nothing. If we wanted to, I could finish it before I start my new job. That's crazy. What? So let me know if you need it. I got the Wordle today. Nah, Senta, I'd rather fail. I'd rather fail than get it. I found her drawing of floors on Serbia's webpage. Nice, Milosh. Jefferson, how's it going? No hint? Nah, no hint. It's fine. I'm not gonna get it. Okay. And... no. A... N... E... Annex. Oh my god! Oh, I'm a fucking legend! Hold on, let me cook! I'm so clutch, baby! Money, how's it going, man? Oh god, that was so good. That was disgustingly good. Oh my god. Fuck you. Oh, that was so good. Okay. Toad, mole, rat. No, that's too easy. Ever since you started taking back your authority, it's been... oh yeah, dude. I am the ancient sun god, for real, for real. Tattoo, piercing, scar. I'm thinking like physical alterations or something. Mole? Oh, let's go. Rat. Scott. No. Creep. Eel. Rat. Oh, that was so good. Dude, I'm gonna be riding off that high for the Wordle for the next, like, for the rest of the stream. Oh my god, that was amazing. Wrongs, how's it going, man? Badger? Skunk. Hold on. Dude, I'm cooking. What? I am cooking. I'm not gonna get these last two, though. Foot. Step. Rot. No, wait. Ah, yeah, there's not fine. Nagito, fine. Here. Just until someone shows up. Well, okay, how about we'll say, yeah, until Romero or DSV shows up. We'll do that. I'll give you a little bit more grace. Okay, bug, badger. Bug, badger. Fuck, what would I do? Bug, badger. Toad. Good lord. What am I? Shit. Bug badger. I'm not gonna get it. This is so frustrating. This is so frustrating. Yeah, Senta. I'll take a hint for the connections. Fuck it. What do you got? Stool. Oh, Nightwalker, how's it going, man? Oh, barstool. Footstool. Toadstool, step stool. Fuck, I have to get this. Hold on. Just until DSV or Romero shows up, Livian, yeah. Okay. Toads, dude, I don't. Bug stool? Badger? Ride stool? It's either ride or toad. You're the only streamer I have seen. Mr. Loki, how's it going, man? That's just fuck. What the fuck is a toadstool? What the fuck is a toadstool? Oh, that's so mad. I'm so mad. Fuckos. What the fuck is a toadstool? Toadstool. It's a type of mushroom? What? Wait, a toadstool is another word for a mushroom? I've never heard that before in my life. What? All right. Let's start reading. God, this music is fucking majestic. I got it before the blue today. Oh, good for you. Fuck, I'm so mad. What? I've never heard that before. Luvion. Wait, have we already no, yeah, we've already read 1193. Okay, yeah, never mind. I'm good. I've actually never heard that before. That's crazy to me. I have a crown today, yes. Until you leave, Mr. Loki, you do. Okay, Alliance Hunt of a Rabbit. Yo, what a good day. You're quitting? Yeah, Nugget. So the day after tomorrow. So I'm gonna call in sick tomorrow because what are they gonna do? Arthur, how's it going, man? Alliance Hunt of a Rabbit. Bro, who's the rabbit? Is Amon the lion? Or could it be Steph is the lion? Steph, the angel of the word. The holy word angel? Holy something, I don't know. Okay, finally, Dorian stopped beside the ladder. Who the fuck is Oh, Dorian Gray. Okay, of course, his teacher. Okay. He bent down, reached out his right hand, his fingers trembling as he grabbed a piece of paper. This time, Dorian was very careful, reading each word one after another from the very beginning. Sometimes he was enlightened, sometimes confused, sometimes puzzled, sometimes in pain. The letter his student had sent wasn't long. Yo, man, I don't think I've seen you here before, man. How you doing? Or maybe you've popped by very briefly. I can't remember. Maybe. The letter his student had sent wasn't long. He had only used 3 minutes to read it twice before he fell into a long silence. The sunlight shined in through the window and landed on the toppled table. Dorian Gray Abraham's lips quivered, but he ultimately didn't make a sound, separated by a piece of paper. His right thumb and index finger quickly rubbed against each other and ignited the letter with a scarlet flame. After doing this, Dorian picked up his belongings, put on his disguise, changed his clothes, and left the rented apartment. Using the identity he had previously prepared, he went to another place. After settling down, he sat beside a desk and stared at the brass ornament, deep in thought. The area became darker and darker as the sunlight weakened. He unfolded the piece of paper and picked up a fountain pen as he pondered and began writing. Kami, how's it going, man? You gonna be working overtime this stream? God, I hope not. We only have one mod right now. Well, we have one permanent and one temp mod, I guess. God, I hope not. He then unfolded the... nope. I am very happy to see you digested the scribe potion in a few months. That means you really may become a demigod. It's just a temp thing, Kami, until Ramiro or DSV arrives. We need some firepower before we can. You know, he's like a mercenary for hire. Okay. These are the key points to take note of while acting as a traveler, at least the ones I know of. However, you have to remember that everyone's personality is different. There will be some differences in acting in real life, so you can't copy blindly. Do you and DSV live down the road? What do you mean I'll get him to come over? This doesn't mean that the acting principles of others are wrong, but it might lead to a huge conflict in your heart, affecting your mental state. Sometimes you can make appropriate adjustments to slow down the speed at which the potion is being digested, but it will only be beneficial to you. You have to remember, acting is a tool, not something to lord over you. Tinab, how's it going, man? Oh shit, nice, Kami. That's awesome. I look forward to the day you have completely digested the Traveler Potion. I will prepare the corresponding ingredients and a present for you. Oh my god, dude, having a fucking teacher from one of the big families is so handy. This motherfucker's like, I will have the demigod potion prepared for you. Whereas like Klein had to like just sell pieces of his soul to get it. Jesus Christ. I'm very interested in the matter of the Abraham family's curse mentioned by the gentleman. I think you should have noticed long ago that I have done a certain degree of research on such matters. Otherwise you wouldn't always ask me about such things. I hope you can continue to learn about this matter at a deeper level. After writing the letter, Dorian closed his eyes and folded the letter. That's a family exactly. This is such a weak family in comparison to all the other ones of this caliber that are still around. And it's like, and even they are like, oh, we have 2 grade 0 sealed artifacts. I can get the ingredients for the demigod potion on a fucking whim. You're like, what? Even the fucking Tarot Club doesn't have a single grade 0 sealed artifact. I don't know if you guys got some ASMR of me sipping that tea, but if you did, I apologize. January 1351, Background's New Year was much bleaker than before. In a basement in Westborough, there was a few candles flickering with a yellow flame, illuminating the surrounding altars, chairs, and round tables. At the edge of the light, at a place that seemed extremely dark, a figure would appear indistinct. At times, he would sway, at times stretching into a thin entity that didn't have any darkness. It was like a shadow that came alive. Suddenly, the figure said in a deep voice, "You arrived earlier than I expected." I was just dreaming of Audrey feeding a potion to Susie in a dog bowl. The fuck are your dreams? What do you mean? One, how's it going, man? I mean, yeah, she's kind of getting fucking carried, though. What level is a Sea God Scepter? It would be a grade 1 artifact. Well, I mean, technically it's not an artifact because it's a thingamajig. It's a... Well, technically it isn't classified, I guess, but it would be a grade 1 because it's a sequence 3, right? Sorry. Grade 0 sealed artifacts are angel or god level. Random ask question. It's not normal to have surnames in USA or Canada. Not until very recently, Ardor, because 2 last names have only started occurring in recent times when people started hyphenating their last names, which is a relatively recent trend. So before this, like, no, like of my generation and like older people, no, but like if the like Gen Alpha and shit have like will sometimes have hyphenated last names from their parents. So it'll become more common as time goes on, but currently it's not common unless you're like a child. Suddenly, the figure said in a deep voice, "You arrived earlier than I expected." Beside the candle, a figure quickly appeared on a spot illuminated illuminated the greatest by light. It was a man with a mysterious black robe. His brown hair slightly curled, and his deep, dark eyes seemed to contain countless objects. He was none other than one of the 5 saints of the Aurora Order, the Saint of Secrets, Botus. Botus smiled and said, "To me, distance is no problem." He pulled up a chair and sat down as he said, "Have you investigated thoroughly? Did you find anything unusual?" Oh, the lion might be Botus and the rabbit might be Fours, actually. The shadow that nearly slinked in the shadows answered, "There aren't any problems." "Really?" Botus asked. "Kisma, could this be a trap?" The Aurora Order Saint Tenebris, Kisma, shook his head. "The target is very careful. Definitely not a case of deliberate exposure. If she wasn't seeking to purchase an ancient Wraith's cursed item, we wouldn't have been able to sense that she was related to the Abraham family." I asked because here it's normal to take one surname of your father and one from your mother. Oh, I see. Oh, cool. I was mostly joking, Mr. Loki. I don't have like a... I don't know. I'd have to think on it to give you an actual fraud tier list. I can't think of many off the top of my head. Saint of Secrets Botus seemed in thought as he said, an ancient Wraith's cursed item, one of the main ingredients of Scribe. I remember that the Abraham family does have a spare Asmound's brain. They aren't willing to directly provide a Scribe characteristic, hoping to carry out some tests. It's indeed of their style. To put it simply, they don't have enough trust. Yeah, no shit, motherfucker, they don't have trust. Last time he trusted you, you fucking betrayed him, you piece of shit. I love how... Dude, this is such a fucking manipulator tactic. Like, it's like a manipulator sitting there is like, damn, I'm really trying to fraud this guy, but like, he has no trust, you know? He has no faith in humanity. God, it must be such a sad life. Meanwhile, I'm trying to fucking steal all his money. Like, what a piece of shit. Saint Tenebris Kisma didn't echo Botus's words as he continued. Even if she was seeking to purchase the main ingredient of the Scribe Potion, we wouldn't have noticed any problems. After all, not every believer knows the corresponding mysticism knowledge, but she even mentioned some questions related to Apprentice and the Abrahams. Oh, Kami, I may come to regret this. But fine. She was really cautious in this aspect. The circle of Beyonders from which she sought to purchase materials from and the ones she asked questions to weren't the same. Different matters were left in different circles. Furthermore, at times, she would hire other participants to make her to help her make requests. If it wasn't for the fact that we have our people in those circles and they were able to combine the intelligence, we wouldn't have noticed her. Gee. Godzilla. Kami, you better be joking, motherfucker. Yeah, Bug, I'm starting to think so. Saint of Secrets Botus nodded slightly as he said, "Why didn't you take action? Why did you come to me?" In the shadows, the darkness stirred and replied slowly. The situation in Backland is getting more and more tense. The Nighthawks, the Punishers, and the Hive Mind are carpet sweeping the area, one spot after another. We're being watched very closely. If I were to handle this matter, it would be fine if there weren't any accidents. However, if an accident were to happen, I might not be able to escape due to having grazed a secret sorcerer. Besides, aren't you one of the ones most interested in the Abraham family? I'm not interested in them at all. I just want them all to die. To ensure my own safety, the most important thing is to nip revenge in the bud. That is the philosophy I abide by. Dude, what an actual sociopath. He's like, okay, I stole from them. I killed a bunch of their members. God, they want revenge on me. I need to kill all of them. You know, we can't take this chance. What chance, bro? Bye, Mr. Loki. I appreciate you popping by. As he spoke, the Saint of Secrets took out a crystal ball from his black robe. The crystal ball was neither clear nor translucent. As he touched it with his palm, his lips quivered. They were like stars that slowly spun, forming a complicated scene. It's still acceptable. Botas looked at the crystal ball in his right hand and nodded. He then looked at the ghostly shadow. Give me all the details. When he learned that there would be a Beyonder gathering in a particular circle tonight, with the target possibly appearing, the Saint stood up and said to Kizma, I need to make preparations. As he spoke, his right hand opened and with a gentle lift, his fingers closed. The region he was in immediately warped and vanished. Nightwalker, there's only one mod, and I guess, and Nagito. The candles, flames, and round tables and chairs that were originally here vanished, leaving behind only the tiles on the ceiling. After a while, everything returned to normal. Nothing happened to Botas, but Saint Tenebris' figure appeared out of the darkness. He looked at Botas and said, Your caution has exceeded the limits. But this isn't a bad thing. I hope I can resolve my problem without anyone noticing, Botas replied. You can follow me, you can hide in the shadows as my support, but do not appear directly, and you will leave once you discover anything amiss. Alright, Kizma said. Bro, there's 2 demigods? Dude, if they didn't have the world, this is gonna be, oh my god, I know what's gonna happen. Oh my god, I know what's gonna happen. So they're gonna try to jump Botas is gonna try to jump 4s, but then the Hermit comes out, so she starts fighting, and Botas is like, Kizma, get out here. And so they're like, oh, here's another demigod, and Hermit and everyone is like, oh, we're so cooked. There's 2 demigods. We're all dead. It's Gojover. And then Force pulls out the world and everyone shits themselves. Oh, this is going to be so good. He looked at the handsome young man with outstanding facial features. After coming close to Botas, there were a series of illusory chewing sounds that came from nowhere. The chewing sounds and the sounds of digesting could be heard, as well as undisguised evil and hunger. I mean, Audrey, this is true. Audrey and Miss Hermit are demigods, but Audrey's not a fighting type, you know? Audrey's like a... Audrey's a support type. What is she gonna do? Like, I mean, which is handy, don't get me wrong, but against 2 DPSs, they just lose. And shit, even the Hermit isn't an attack type, so they don't have any DPS. It's they need the world who's a tank, who's a DPS, who's a paladin. He's just everything. He's goated. This made the demigods shudder. Saint Tenebris' eyes froze for a second as he cast a shocked, surprised look on Botas' face. The corners of Botas' mouth curled up. A few seconds later, one of them used teleport and the other merged into the shadows and left the house. In an apartment that had been in disrepair for years, in the area intersecting Backlands Eastborough and the bridge area, there were a few rooms on the first floor of a cheap motel that had their rooms connected. When Botas walked out of the spirit world, the Beyonder gathering was only to be held 2 or 3 hours later. No one arrived yet. He looked around and took in the long tables that were arranged messily. After observing the environment, he walked to a corner with his right hand and pulled the curtains. The region was then enveloped by a shadow, distorting before vanishing. This was because there wasn't anything there to begin with. There were no objective measure, so there was no one that would discover that there was a space missing. They would only feel that the distance between the walls themselves was a little closer, but everything upon inspection would be normal. The space concealment power of a secret sorcerer. They could use this ability to split a place into 2 and conceal part of it. One had to use a specific door to enter. Dude, the more I read about this, the more I think the... what do you call it? The apprentice pathway is the door pathway. Mr. Door would make so much sense. The one closest to the deities named Mr. Door because he's gonna become Door. He's gonna become a door. He's gonna become the door. He becomes Doors. I don't know how you use that, but whatever. In a moment, in the area that had been divided and hidden, the room existed normally. There were floor tiles, a ceiling, and a cockroach crawling across the floor. The cockroach rushed to the boundary and was blocked by the endless darkness. After Saint of Secrets Botas surveyed the area, his gaze paused at a transparent vortex in midair. This was the door. Hey there, how's it going, man? Every hidden space would definitely have a door. After some thought, Botas reached out into his black robe pocket, took out a mirror, and inserted it into the door. The mirror twisted and quickly reflected the scene in the outside world. There were chairs and long tables randomly strewn around, but the place was empty. In this way, Botas used this mirror to monitor the Beyonder Gathering's venue. Seconds changed to minutes as the Beyonders, dressed in various disguises, arrived. One of the hooded figures habitually chose a corner near the window. She took a palm-sized notebook and casually flipped through a few pages, as though she was revising the main points of her questions. And to her side, there was an ordinary mirror embedded in the wall. Hey there, we are actually almost finished Lord of the Mysteries, which is crazy, dude. That's nuts. Grade 0. Oh my god, please, please. Seer, stream's going great, man. Stream's going pretty good. Stream's going pretty good. Pretty good. You know who's a grade 0? My boy, Klein Moretti. Goated and woaded. Wields a more than a grade 0 cursed artifact. He wields the Sephira Castle. God, that's such a cool name. I'm just so glad to even know the fucking name of this shit. In the region that had been concealed, the Saint of Secrets, Botas, narrowed his eyes slightly as he recognized Leimano's travel. This made him no longer have any doubts about the intel provided. Tyrant, definitely not supported. Oh yeah, Tyrant would definitely be DPS for sure. He recognized this notebook as he knew it was a mystical item that the family had placed great importance on, one of the most powerful items below high sequencers. Back when I was a mid-sequencer, I yearned for this notebook, but in the end they were wary of me. Now, have they learned their lesson? This woman should be a descendant of the family, or she wouldn't have gone around searching for the cursed item. Botas's expression gradually turned grim, showing hints of a cruel fervor. After observing his surroundings, he carefully reached into his pocket. The pocket seemed to contain a vast space as Botas dragged out a 3-layered jewelry box. The jewelry box wasn't tiny, making it difficult to hold it with one hand. Wait, he's got like spatial magic, so he's got like infinite inventory space? This is kind of goated. Man, I'm so glad I put the apprentice pathway so high. It was mainly silver black in color, and its surface was covered with exquisite decorations. There were rubies, emeralds, sapphires, and diamonds embedded in it, making it look rather luxurious. As he held the jewelry box in his hand, there was a hint of panic and expression and fear in his expression. It was as if he was watching the abyss or listening to an evil god's ravings. True creator? The gathering Botas, the Bay Harbor Butcher. The gathering continued as usual. How are you finding Volume 6? Definitely good, Nagitsuo. Definitely good. Definitely very good. Klein being in the Forsaken Land of the Gods was not on my bingo card, though. I will say that was interesting. The gathering continued as Forrest put away Leimano's travel and focused on listening. During the process, she would occasionally ask questions using pounds and materials as payments. Gradually, the gathering came to an end and the host arranged for the participants to leave from different exits. Soon Forrest and a few other Beyonders left the room. After receiving the signal of the host, Forrest stood up and resisted the urge to stretch herself as she walked to the side door. At this moment, she realized that her body had stiffened, her head could barely turn. It felt like she was a toy that had its torsion spring wound up. You know, this just reminds me, dude. If Klein was here in spirit, in like with his actual body, he would be. How fucking easy would it be for him to kill Botes and the Saint of Tenebris? He would just sit in a corner while they're observing fours, and before either of them could do a thing, just have full control and just be like, two demigod marionettes. What a good Tuesday. Ha ha. Let's go eat some dinner. God, he's so cool. From the corner of her eye, she made out that the grayish-white walls had turned silvery black in an instant, covered in granules, as though they were made of metal. The remaining participants and the host of their skin lost the luster that they should have possessed. Their eyes were dull, their movements mechanical, as though they were large dolls. Fight music, yep. Nightwalker, if you're saying not really to the fact that Klein wouldn't do that easily, you're just fucking wrong, okay? I refuse to believe it. In the concealed area, Botes had opened up the jewelry box at some point in time. The interior of its top layer wasn't exquisite enough, but it had completely restored the scene of the room. In the room, there were chairs and long tables scattered haphazardly, and there was a few palm-sized puppets sitting or standing around. Among these people, the person standing was wearing a hooded robe. The shape of her chin was beautiful and her lips were plump and red, none other than Fours. She and the remaining Beyonders, together with the host, became silent toys. They had been taken into the highest layer of the jewelry box. The room that connected in the external world was left with only grayish-white walls and nothing else. The corners of Botes' lips curled up bit by bit. With his right hand, he closed the lid of the box. In a single breath, he had magically controlled his target. This silver-black, three-layered jewelry box was a Grade 0 sealed artifact that he had snatched from the Abraham family. As it had never been obtained by an Orthodox church, it was never deeply understood, and didn't have a corresponding number. According to what Botes knew, this jewelry box originated from an Abraham family angel from the 4th epoch. So I guess even they have this similar ability of being able to control others to a degree. Like, the Marauder pathway can make avatars, the Seer pathway can make marionettes, they can make, I don't know, dolls, whatever this is. He enjoyed roaming the cosmos and heading to different places in the vast universe. However, once, when he returned to his family to rest, he died silently in his palace, his face filled with fear and his expression twisted as if he had seen something terrifying. A true mythical creature, one that could be considered a subsidiary god in the 2nd epoch, died silently without even causing a stir. Emlyn would love this doll set. The Beyonder characteristic he left behind combined with his corpse, forming the jewelry box. It was quite different from the other kind of sealed artifacts. Fuck, my arm hurts so much. And back then, Mr. Door, Bethel Abraham, had not only didn't attempt to shatter it and restore it to a pure characteristic, he even gave it a rather strange name. Box of the Great Old Ones. Hold on, let me cook. Something killed an angel in like an instant without even getting him a chance to like fight back. A fucking angel. Like, and mind you, an angel of the apprentice pathway. Like the most kind of dog shit person that you would hate to fight. Because this motherfucker would just keep teleporting. Like, even if he doesn't have the ability to hurt you, because you have, like, a really fighting-based pathway and you have, like, high defenses or whatever, he would just keep teleporting around. He's a fucking annoying piece of shit. Something just killed him, an angel in its sleep, and I went, bitch, you ain't shit. Could it be a great old one? What is a great old one? Well, fuck if I know. The first... Oh. I don't know. I was trying to think of a theory of what the Great Old One could be. I don't know. All I know is, this takes a lot of theory. The Great Old One is your mom. You are a bitch, Kami. You are a fucking bitch. Count your fucking days. See, this is why I took away your mod powers before you came back. Can't trust you with shit, you motherfucker. All I know is, this game, what do you call it? Lord of the Mysteries took a lot of inspiration from, what do you call it? Bloodborne. And Bloodborne had like a race of creatures called the Great Old Ones. These were like cosmic creatures or whatever. That were like fifth dimensional or some bullshit. So maybe it's something like that. I don't know. The first level of the Box of the Great Old Ones could turn the target's location into toys and switch locations with its interior. Botas had used this trait to easily achieve his goal. The second level of the Box of the Great Old Ones recorded different locations. Lovecraftian mythology. You know what, Nagato? You should be nicer. Once it was released, the holder and the living beings within its effective range would directly head to the corresponding region. They would then wander around the cosmos like the angels from the Abraham family back then, exploring the universe. As for what was on the third level of the Box of the Great Old Ones, Botas knew about it but didn't dare to think about it. It was just like how he didn't dare come into contact with this Grade Zero sealed artifact. After closing the lid of the box, he grabbed a mirror that was embedded in the vortex that was suspended in midair. Like something strong enough that even a demigod, a saint, wouldn't dare think about it. This must be one of those things that, like, Klein was told, like, you don't want to know about it until you become an angel. It will corrupt you. I think Ariana said this to him about something. I can't remember about what, but about something. Once a certain area was concealed, a secret sorcerer had to use the corresponding door or directly remove the concealment to exit. Botas chose the latter method because it was easier and faster. The shadows stirred and the area that disappeared returned to the real world, the room finally complete. Unhinged, that was a good one, dude. That was a good one. Botas didn't stay any longer. Without even looking at his surroundings, he made his body fade away. He held many gemmed silver-black box of the many gemmed silver-black box of the old ones as his colors saturated and overlapped. He traversed the spirit world, which was filled with strange creatures, towards his designated location. In a few seconds, he walked out of the void, attempting to enter the ruins of the battlefield of the gods by crossing the huge chasm. At this moment, Botas stopped in midair. His eyes narrowed and his eyes instantly turned dark, dotted with countless points of resplendence. It was like the cosmos had been reflected in his eyes. The gravel formed by the stars spun rapidly. Godzilla, how's it going, man? The gravel formed by the stars spun rapidly, causing the cracks at the bottom of the sea to rapidly turn incorporeal, causing everything in front of him to shrink and condense into a wavering orange flame. The flame extended from the tip of the matchstick as it was extinguished. Everything that Botas experienced after removing the concealed space was an illusion. He remained rooted on the ground. And the source of this illusion was the burning matchstick. This matchstick was held by a fair-skinned palm, and the owner of the hand was a woman wearing a purple-patterned black robe and hood. She was sitting on a carriage halfway through the wall, formed by a gigantic pumpkin. What the fuck? Pulling the carriage was a bunch of grey rats. What the fuck? This was nothing more. This was none other than Cat Leia. But her appearance, image, and bearing had changed. How come I'm in prison and you're walking free? Oh, no problem. I have diplomatic immunity, Unhinged. As a diplomat from my server to Easy's server, I get certain immunity, I get certain privileges. DSV, how's it going, man? This was the power she had gained from the magic of Cinderella. The core beyond her powers of the Mystery Prior Pathway Sequence 4 Mysticologist was known as Mystical Reenactment, fully expressing the saying, "Knowledge is power." Squid, how's it going, man? To put it simply, a mysticologist could draw power from the different mysticism knowledge they grasped and create all sorts of magic or witchcraft. As for the corresponding mysticism knowledge, the less that was known by others and the less it spread, the more powerful the spells. And the contrary could also be established. Once the knowledge and legends were known commonly and no longer mysterious, the magic or witchcraft created by drawing on its power would become basically ineffective. Cattleya had no idea why the queen could create all sorts of magical powers that were rich in magical colors from the private fairy tales that Roselle had told her, but didn't hinder her learning and usage of them. After all, she had heard of those fairy tales from Queen Mystic. Oh! So wait, the green vines that Queen Mystic uses, is that from Jack and the Beanstalk? Is that what that is? It is! Yay! That's awesome! That's so good! Oh, that's so cool! The magic that she had used to temporarily transform and disguise herself was called Cinderella. Since volume... Oh, that is so cool! The magic that threw the Saint of Secrets Botas into an illusion was the little match girl. Another clue to this world being Earth. Kind of implied here that Bernadette read the stories to Cattleya. This is cute. DSV, I don't know, because couldn't it also just be true that... I mean, obviously now that we know that this world is Earth, that's one thing, but like... couldn't, even if this world wasn't Earth, couldn't Roselle just tell his daughter about the story of Cinderella and Jack and the Beanstalk and stuff, and then that would have the same effect? No? But they need knowledge, not just make up stories? Yeah, but... Oh, yeah, I guess, because at that point he would just be making up stories. Yeah, I guess. They need to have some truth. Oh, I see, okay. Uh-huh. The magic that she had used to transform and disguise herself was called Cinderella. The magic that threw... No, I already read that. Just as Botas had extricated himself from the hallucination, that's the Cinderella, who was sitting in the pumpkin carriage, placed her foot on the ground and spread out her arms, causing a huge cross to appear. As for Cattleya, she seemed to be carrying an illusory object. In the empty room, candlelights lit up, one after another, illuminating a long table covered with flesh and blood. Around the long table were three extraordinarily blurry figures holding the globs of flesh as they constantly devoured the food. As if sensing something, the three figures turned their head at the same time and looked at Botas. The Saint of Secrets' heart raced as he felt a chill from deep within his soul. He then heard the illusory gnawing and digesting sounds. Digesting sounds? What the fuck? Excuse me? He could feel the undisguised malice and hunger. Botas's eyelids twitched as he unhurriedly lowered his head and cast his gaze at the box of the Great Old Ones in his hand. The silver-black box had opened itself without him realizing it at some point. The magic that Cattleya used was called the Feast of Betrayal. It stemmed from the mysticism knowledge she learned of the Ancient Sun's death from the Tarot Club. Its purpose was to temporarily awaken or imbue the target with intelligence, causing them to commit betrayal. Oh, that is so good. Merlin, how's it going, man? You came at a perfect time, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god. Without a doubt, the effects of encountering a sealed artifact that was filled with malice towards the owner would be excellent. However, if not for the fact that she had obtained the protection of Mr. Fool at every gathering, Cattleya wouldn't have dared to use such magic. Once the three main leads of the betrayal feast sensed it, she would definitely die. She wouldn't be able to resist her death, and she would die in a horrifying manner. Therefore, Mysticologists were seen as individuals with high risks. Their knowledge came from walking the edge of the abyss, coming from things they shouldn't have seen or heard. In comparison, Queen Mystic, who could create magic from her father's private fairy tales, was much safer than other Mysticologists of the same tier. Bro, what? So Cattleya, and even by extension to a degree, so Bernadette, and even by extension to a degree, Cattleya, are like goated in the realm of being a Mysticologist because they lower their risk, but their upside remains just as high or even higher than others. That's goated. Oh, that pathway is like, dude. You say what you want about Roselle, but the man was like, listen, bro, I don't care what pathway my daughter chooses. I'm gonna make sure I protect her as best I can. Okay, he was a good dad, as he did as good a job as he could. Okay, he did as good a job as he could. He was like my little princess. I'm gonna protect her. Good for him. Roselle is the GOAT. My emperor! Let's go! Roselle is a trash husband, but a good dad. Yeah, Roselle, yeah, that's true. Okay. When opening the first level of the box of the Great Old Ones, the long table, chairs, floors, and others were like dolls. They were either still or motionless. Otherwise, under the power of the torsion springs, they made repeated simple movements. Bro, there's no chance this would happen, but like, Cattleya, can you just give this Grade 0 sealed artifact to the Fool? I feel like the Tarot Club needs to have at least one Grade 0 sealed artifact. We're too close to the end game to not have a single Grade 0 sealed artifact. Upon seeing the scene, Botus's hair stood on end. For some baffling reason, he felt that he was about to join and become one of them. He instinctively wanted to react to the artifact in his hand, but he saw the hooded, purple-robed woman retract her right hand and hold it to her mouth. A dark color instantly formed in her palm, an ancient bugle with a charm. The Horn of Magic, the Horn of Destruction. Botus's pupils dilated. As he lacked the luxury of time to deal with the box of the Great Old Ones, he grabbed forward with his right hand as he raised an invisible screen that shielded the void. The area he was in was distorted once again. He disappeared and was concealed. The horn in Cattleya's hand let out a soft hum. It echoed in the room but didn't extend out of its confines. With the sound, waves overlapping, the shadows shattering, the grounds cracking, the space that had been concealed by the Saint of Secrets was like a thick piece of glass that had been struck by a sledgehammer, countless cracks appearing everywhere. Elsewhere, a towering knight in full black armor appeared out of the shadows, holding a long broadsword. Saint Tenebris Kisma. Once again, Cattleya blew the horn. Everything in the room seemed to freeze with a translucent amber. Mr. Fool is above mere artifacts, but like other gods have one, why wouldn't they? Saint Tenebris is a great name. I feel like Queen is going to be so happy when she gets to meet this character. However, Botus also managed to grab the gaps between the two horn blows as he created numerous illusory doors. Some of them were like double doors that opened outwards, some were deep and recessed, some were covered in mysterious patterns, and some were hollow in the middle. The doors were bountiful in numbers, densely packed and overlapped together, almost enveloping the Saint of Secrets. Without any time to think, Botus immediately opened a grayish-blue door with 7 brass locks, and he threw the box of the Great Old Ones, just as it was about to have its second layer open. I have a pit. I have a EPUB. I don't know. I think Romero gave it to me a long time ago. I've been reading it here for the longest time. Without any time to think, Botas immediately opened up a note party with that. This was a Saint of Secrets. What? This was a secret sorcerer's exile. It could throw a target that had gained initial control of into the corresponding chaotic space. As for the illusory doors, they represented different scenes, one where dangers and opportunities coexisted. This kind of exile wasn't permanent. At Botas' sequence level, he was only capable of isolating the Box of the Great Old Ones for 20 seconds. Once that time was up, the artifact would appear beside him. However, by then, the betrayal induced by the enemy Beyonder powers would have disappeared. As a demigod of the Apprentice pathway, he had traveled many places, seen many things, and recorded many powers. Botas made the right decision in that instant. At the same time, the Black Knight that had split into pieces squirmed and reformed, becoming a thin rug that flowed with flesh and blood. As a cult that could only survive in the shadows of reality, the Aurora Order might have many lunatics, but they were used to doing things to conceal themselves. Of course, once the matter was in its final stage, they would definitely proclaim their existence openly. In addition, Saint Tenebris has done so in the hopes of obstructing the possible enemies that were hiding outside to a certain extent. This allowed a separation of the battle. When a layer of flesh grew out from the floor, walls, and ceiling, a twisted black shadow rose up from the corner. This was one of the souls that Saint Tenebris Kisma had grazed. A powerful vampire from the Forsaken Land of the Gods. A Sequence 4 Shaman King of the Moon Pathway. Oh, damn. Emlyn's about to become a demigod? You're kidding! Emlyn's a Sequence 5! Oh, you think... Oh, God. Bro, we're about to have demigods up the ass in the Tarot Club. What? Bro, if Emlyn becomes a demigod before Leonard does, it's over for Leonard, bro. It's over. It's Gojover. If the shepherd's grazed target was a demigod, he could release it directly due to the existence of its corporeal soul body. However, there could only be one released at a time unless the corresponding shepherd had become a Sequence 3 Trinity Templar. If Emlyn becomes a demigod, he would never shut up about it. This is also kind of true. Anyone joins the Tarot Club, do not speak to me, mere mortal. You must keep your eyes averse from the godhood that I possess. Everyone else is like, angels around him is like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? Shepherd? Trinity Templar. 1, 2, 3. I don't know what 4, 2, or 1 of the Shepherd pathway are. Seizing this opportunity that the horn in the female demigod's hand was dissipating, the twisted Shaman King reached out and dug out one of his eyes, a bright red illusory eye. The eye shimmered with a bright crimson glow as it instantly illuminated the entire room. As though the crimson moon had descended, its pupil reflected the woman wearing the purple patterned black robe. Immediately following that, the Shaman King clasped his hands, which was holding his eye, letting the crimson moonlight completely devoured by the darkness. A deep darkness appeared around Cattleya as the solidified darkness bound her to the spot. Upon seeing this, Botas took a step forward. Zaza, how's it going, man? Upon seeing this scene, Botas took a step forward, phasing through this enemy instantaneously, performing one blink followed by another as a total of 8 figures dressed in black robes appeared around Cattleya. These weren't the avatars he created, but after-images he left behind due to his blazing blink. Some of them released lightning storm, while others condensed into a blinding white spear. Some were covered in black armor as they slashed out a heavy broadsword that could appear capable of slicing through everything. Different figures with different powers either attacked or created a form of control, but their target was one and the same: Cattleya. I was gonna say something about Jujutsu Kaisen, but everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, you spoiled Jujutsu Kaisen for me," so I'm not gonna say it. Fuck you guys. There was almost no pause between their actions. When Botas's figure blinked to another corner, he quickly turned transparent, as though he was on the brink of disappearing. He had no intention of killing the enemy. This was Backlund. The commotion from their battle couldn't be suppressed. Once it affected the outside world, angels would appear. The reason why he had first launched a series of counterattacks before teleporting away was because he wanted to suppress the enemy and prevent her from interfering with his and Kizma's escape. However, a few seconds ago, in a room on an upper level of the old apartment, Gio had learned all of the changes in the venue through Miss Justice's mind voice. Although she was worried and anxious, she didn't panic. She jumped down from the window, somersaulting in midair, and pointed to the target area. Teleportation is prohibited here. After doing so, she immediately distanced herself from the apartment to prevent friendly demigods from being distracted. What the... Kami, can you think of a more roundabout way to blame this on me? Fuck you. With this interference, Botas had successfully failed to enter the spirit world. A rusty, abnormal, heavy door appeared in front of him, tightly sealing his path. To Botas, an illusory door of this level wasn't capable of stopping him. He could open the door. But at this moment, something anomalous happened over at the female demigod. The silver light appeared in Catleya's eyes, connected together like a mysterious giant snake. Brief luck derived from the knowledge she had obtained when analyzing the blood of a snake of fate. What kind of piece of shit? Oh, I studied a snake of fate, so I get some occasional luck now. What? I studied blackjack, so I get blackjack occasionally? What the fuck? Regardless of the terrifying lightning, burning white spear, or the slash of the Black Knight, none of them hit the target. Catleya seemed to be standing at the eye of the storm. No matter how dangerous the surroundings, she was unaffected. Those attacks and the attempts at control either narrowly passed her by or were cancelled out by friendly forces, unable to achieve the desired effect, and they even helped her weaken the dark shackles. Basically examined one of the closest Wheel of Fortune. I mean, yeah, but that kind of seemed like bullshit, but whatever, it's fine. The ugly duckling had become a swan. As for what a swan was to a Sequence 4 demigod, the answer was obvious: an incomplete mythical creature form. And the ugly duckling could also be a swan. This was a powerful magic that allowed a mysticologist to reveal their incomplete mythical creature form once a day for 10 seconds. The surface of Catleya's body immediately cracked open as the flesh and blood gathered inside, forming eyeballs with clear black and whites. The countless eyeballs coldly scanned their surroundings, as though they were manifestations of multifarious knowledge. As such, the figure that bore their weight turned into a black blob that was even more abstract. Upon seeing this densely packed eyeballs, the Saint of Secrets and Botas and Saint Tenebris Kizma felt dizzy. A knowledge storm took form in their mind. At this moment, an unimaginable aura pierced through the barrier formed from flesh and blood. Dude, Catleya's aura is kind of crazy though, what? Pouring out into the first floor of the dilapidated apartment and enveloping every corner of the apartment. At the same time, Botas and Kizma were shocked. Their bodies, souls, and minds were in an uncontrollable state. This was Dragonmite, which had undergone a qualitative change. Mind deprivation. Damn. Audrey's kind of putting in the work. She's not even in the room, but Audrey's like 3 floors above. She's like sipping tea and she's like, mind deprivation. You actually don't want to think about that. You want to kill yourself. And you're like, what the fuck is going on here? Seizing this opportunity, the black blob that was covered in cracks and the eyes condensed a spear in front of it. The spear appeared in an ancient style. From the tip to the handle, dyed in blobs of blood-red splotches. It emitted a mighty destructive aura and a bloody feeling. With a whoosh, the terrifying spear shot out, heading straight for the Botas, who stood rooted to the ground. In the entire room, all the voices and details vanished. Even the dragon might that filled the room disappeared, leaving behind only the bloody spear tip and Botas's body, as well as the constantly shrinking distance between them. Spear of Longinus. Damn, that's kind of a crazy name though, what? Damn, that guy must have had a... It's fine, I'm not gonna make the joke. It's... Mind Storm. Ooh. The spear that killed Christ? Wait, actually? What? Holy Lance, named after Saint Longinus. Alleged to be the lance that pierced the side of Jesus as he hung during the cross of crucifixion? Oh shit, okay, thank you, cool. That was wielding the real Buddha sling sword? What? That's kind of crazy. Nagito, you have a good night, man. That's a real item? Why the fuck would it be called? It's fine. Damn. So you're telling me some random Roman soldier dickwad was wielding the spear of a saint? God damn, that's kind of nutsy. Listen, say what you want. He may have killed your Lord and Savior, maybe, if you believe in that religion. But that random Roman soldier had crazy aura there for a minute. God damn. Can you imagine holding the spear of a fucking saint? You might as well be like Jeanne d'Arc on steroids. That's kind of goated. The bloodstained spear that seemed to come from an ancient time that couldn't be traced had absorbed the entire room's presence, stabbing straight into the body of the Saint of Secrets. His spear became holy because he was the one killing Christ? Oh, it became a holy lance because his blood dyed it, I guess. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Oh, I see. The brown-haired, firm-bodied Botas's figure faded away, turning into a pair of black double doors. At the same time, he appeared behind the door, placing himself in a separate world from the terrifying spear. In the next moment, the spear that was stained with red blood pierced through the black door and bored into the space where Botas was. Damn, this spear is kind of goated though, cause like Botas was like, "Oh, I've made the door of the gods that can protect me," and this spear is like, "Bitch, I don't know, fuck you thought this was." Botas's figure kept retreating, constantly transforming into one illusory door after another. Some made up of winding stone golems, while others had a fist-sized hole by the gap of the doors. Some were embedded with silver nails, while others were covered in patterns. One after another, the layers repeated, extending into infinity. Without a sound, the spear tore through the illusory doors without stopping at all. It didn't allow Botas to find a chance to escape. Dude, Botas must be shitting himself right now. In less than a second, the bloodstained spear that emitted a strong sense of destruction had shattered countless illusory doors. After it suffered a decline in its aura, it finally stabbed into the target's chest. Damn, even the lance of Longinus was starting to lose its aura. That's kind of crazy. But here's the question: How did Leia know about the Lance of Longinus. How the fuck would she know about this? This is well beyond the first epoch. Klein would know about it? Fine, whatever, I believe it. How the fuck does she know about this? Countless cracks instantly appeared on Botis's body, as if he was a ceramic object falling to the ground. Oh, Roselle told Bernadette, Bernadette told her. Oh, goddamn. Bro, she's hacking. She's a bug in the Matrix. Nightwalker, fuck you, by the way. This didn't seem like his actual body, more like a shadow. This was the Shadow Substitute spell he had recorded from a certain Sequence 3 saint under the True Creator. Of course, without the layers of doors weakening the Spear of Longinus, he believed it was very likely that his shadow together with his body would have both shattered. After narrowly dodging the strike, Botis endured the dizziness and shock brought about by Catlea's mythical creature form as he made a gigantic, scaleless silver snake appear in his eyes. Wait until she shows the painter sequence of the things. Sequence 1, Austrian painter. This gigantic snake was so large that it filled Botis's eyes. Its surface was filled with dense patterns and labels formed by a mystical wheel after another. Help me stop. Its head connected to its tail as it merged with countless illusory rivers, turning into a blurred, surreal, and slowly spinning gear. Around the round gear were all sorts of symbols that responded to different futures. Suddenly, the black fragment that had yet to disappear on the ground flew up one after another and reorganized themselves on the spot, restoring Botis. The ground that was stained with dark red blood quickly retreated from the numerous illusory doors until it returned to the distorted black blob. The strong, fearful atmosphere receded. The black blob that was covered in cracks in the eyeballs squirmed and restored itself, turning back into a black-patterned, black-robed woman. Everything returned to the point before the ugly duckling magic happened. Reboot of fate. This was one of the rewards given to Botis for crushing the Abraham family. He was allowed to record the Sequence 1 powers from the Angel of Fate, Ouroboros. Damn, they both have a Sequence 1 of the fate of the monster pathway on their side. That's kind of nutsy. Indirectly, it's like Ouroboros and Will Ossipton fighting again. Of course, there was a huge gap from the original version. It could only reboot reality for 3 seconds and was limited to the space of a tiny room like this. The moment reboot ended, the prepared Saint Tenebris Kisma immediately took action. Snake of Mercury Cold War. That's really good. The Grey's twisted shadow that stemmed from a sanguine count spread open its arms and made a gesture of embracing the crimson moon. The darkness around Cattleya surged, instantly forming illusory but firm chains that bound her. The flesh and blood that covered the ground, walls, and ceiling gathered together rapidly, turning into a knight covered in black full-body armor. Ramiro, how's it going, man? He held a heavy greatsword in his hand and looked extremely oppressive. In the gap of the black knight visor, 2 dark red beams of light flickered and instantly locked on to the hooded woman beside the pumpkin carriage. By the way, Ramiro, I will say, in your absence, and DSVs for that matter, Nightwalker did a good job. Nightwalker did a good job. Good for him. See, Nightwalker and Devil are our strongest soldiers because they only show up when when they are needed. Like, unless it's called upon, they sit back, they just chill. But when shit hits the fan, they're there. Good for thank you. The shadow beneath Catlea's feet instantly came alive as it grabbed her ankles like a water current that had its water level rising. Black Knight, commandeering Shadow. Then the gigantic knight that was almost reaching the ceiling, as though he had come from legend, rushed to the spot not far from the target with a single sweep and cleaved down with his broadsword. Elsewhere, in a silvery, illusory book, in the eyes of Botas rapidly flipped, stopping at a single page. With that, Botas reached out his left hand and grabbed the pumpkin carriage across a distance of 20 or 30 meters. He then grabbed at the mysterious woman in the purple-patterned robe. His arm grew longer and its surface was black and sticky, as though it was flowing through with an evil liquid. Amidst the liquid, pale skulls and eyes with pronounced blood vessels, including sharp teeth and tongues, all sorts of strange things grew out, causing extreme evil and the extreme madness to spread rapidly. In the same room, the ground instantly cracked and the few cockroaches that were still alive collapsed, an attack from a particular state of Abomination Sua. Back outside Bayam City, the Saint of Secrets, Botas, had been attracted by Tinder. It appeared as though he had only watched from the sidelines from a while before picking up the item and leaving, but in fact, he had been desperately trying to record the powers of the states of high-level existences. After failing numerous times due to the frequent blessings of fate, he eventually obtained what he wanted. Of course, during the battle, he only managed to record one. Under the evil and pitch-black arm, Catlea's consciousness was stained with madness. For a moment, she was unable to respond effectively. Alter Ego 7, is that Dr. Z or is that... Together with the shackles of darkness restraining her shadows, she could only stand rooted to the ground as she watched Kisma's great sword, hi Dr. Z, great sword slash at her while the Saint of Secrets, Botas, reached out with his left hand to grab at her. At this moment, the flesh and blood in the room that separated the interior and the exterior was gone. An invisible and abrupt wind stirred up. The moment the wind appeared, it grew violent and swept towards Botas and Kisma. Manipulator, Mindstorm. Not only was he not surprised or flustered by the chaotic thoughts, Botas had even smiled. As the switch for the reboot, he naturally remembered that a demigod riding the pumpkin carriage had a helper of the same level hiding somewhere. The reason why he had placed his focus on the enemy on the surface was to lure out the hidden demigod. In between the two powers of Fate of Reboot and Abomination State, Botas had secretly hypnotized himself, allowing himself to divide the burden of mind deprivation and the knowledge torrent across most of his Worms of Star. He then left a small number to control his body so as to lock onto the hidden enemy. This shit is so fucking bullshit. I'm just gonna have some of my Worms of Star tank the damage. Well, why don't they die then? Because they take more damage per. What? He should have like 40% of his Worms of Star die and just be paralyzed by the pain. Formerly, the Dragon Might shock and the fact that he was unable to discover his target convinced Botas that it was a demigod of the Spectator pathway. While his mind was in a daze, the thing he branched out rapidly and churned helped Botas locate the source of the attack. But at this moment, most of his thoughts resonated amongst the Worm of Star wasn't him being overloaded with meaningless information as he imagined. At the bottom, there seemed to be a voice with thousands of words in a second. At the bottom of an abandoned castle in Delaire Forest, there was a pair of bronze double doors sealed with corruptive forces underground. The higher the sequence of Beyonders when approaching, the easier it is to be affected. The cosmos is very dangerous. There are unknown existences watching. The Dark Angel is suspected to be the negative personality dissociated from the ancient sun god. Oh, she's literally trying to hit him with knowledge that'll just make him lose his shit. What? Botas was taken aback as he felt these thoughts were dangerous, but he couldn't help but want to understand them. Just in this moment of stupor made the enemy he had already found disappear once again. escaping his range of attention. As for the abomination palm that was hurtling towards the pumpkin carriage, it also slowed down. Similarly, Kizma was also affected by the mind storm as his actions stiffened. By the time they recovered, Cattleya opened her mouth and spat out a pea. The pea instantly grew, turning into a thick green vine that dragged Cattleya out the door, allowing her to escape the shackles of darkness. By the time Kizma's heavy greatsword and Botas's pitch-black arms landed on her, they only shattered a shadow. They had shattered Cattleya's Emperor's New Clothes magic, something that didn't exist. In the next second, the hooded lady in the purple-patterned black robe, it suddenly turned transparent and turned into a pile of foam. Bro, I don't know if I'm smart enough to understand all this. The bubbles quickly scattered and burst one after another. Nothing was left. As for the green vines, they grew into midair and burst into flames. Everything returned to normal. It was as if the short and intense demigod level battle had never even happened. We're gonna let him escape? Fuck that. Botas and Kizma exchanged glances. They weren't surprised. Clearly, the sneak attack failed. The two demigods were at a disadvantage and could no longer achieve their goals. Furthermore, this was Backland. The longer they delayed, the more dangerous it would be, so they escaped. In addition, in order to interfere with the tracking, they deliberately caused a huge commotion to attract the authorities. As for the copy of Leymano's Travel and a Sequence 7 or 6 apprentice, they were baits that could be abandoned. After a slight nod, Botas took out a crystal ball from his robe, blooming with light before it quickly shattered and merged into the void. He was trying to prevent tracking as well. Oh, this is what you think, eh? Wait till the world pops out, bitch. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's over. That's what you think. Indeed, he didn't stay any longer. He planned on teleporting away and returning to the Aurora Order headquarters. Then he would interrogate the bait. A second later, Botas's figure turned transparent and disappeared. Kizma entered the shadows and left, wiping the traces behind him along the way. 1198. Renzi. Wow, it's gonna be a short stream today. Well, and then, by the way, Luvion or Romero, these are the only people I know that have even a chance of knowing this offhand. What's a good place to end tomorrow? Just follow the list? Oh, 1269. What is on the list really quickly? Luvion has made 9 clips this stream. Luvion, what kind of animal are you? What? 1206. Okay, good. Fine. The Saint of Secrets, Botas, began to traverse the spirit world the moment he entered, heading straight for the easternmost front of the Sonia Sea. At this moment, his thoughts blurred, his body turned and left the spirit world through another place. By the time Botas received a warning from his spirituality and had regained control of his thoughts, what he saw was a bare forest and nearly all of its leaves scattered and no one around. As a former traveler and astrologer, he identified his location and noticed he was still in Backland. However, he had moved from the city to a remote area in the suburbs. Okay, some of them are like crazy. Okay, the painter sequence 1, that was kind of funny. Whatever. Study blackjack to get blackjack. Really? Okay. I don't know that one. The great old one is your mom. Okay, fine. You can have that one. No problem. Force pulls out the world and everyone shits themselves. I mean, sure. Please never stop talking in the first person. I don't even know what that refers to. Was his own experience totally what? Me getting Wordle. The only one that's worth it in there is me getting Wordle. There's one clip to stream. One. At this moment, no, okay. At the same time, he also understood what happened. It was unknown when his mind world had been infiltrated by someone else's consciousness. At the same time, it affected his thoughts and changed his destination. That spectator pathway's demigod, I didn't realize it. Botas's pupils dilated as a silvery white illusory book appeared. The book flipped to one of the pages. Botas immediately raised his hand to grab at Glabella. He grabbed at a ball of darkness from the island of consciousness and threw it into his shadow. What did you read earlier? What? I was reading the title of the clips. That Luvion. Oh, the great old one is your mom? Is that the one you guys are referring to? Forrest pulls out the world and shits, and everyone shits themselves? With his own experience? Wiz Clutch? I don't know. Any of these? I don't know. What the fuck is happening? Okay. What the fuck? Okay. Botas immediately raised his hand to grab at his glabella. He grabbed a ball of darkness from the island of consciousness and threw it into his shadow. His shadow was separated from him as it twisted to a stand, revealing a female silhouette. Black Knight, Shadow of Deprivation, an ability that Botas had recorded from Saint Tenebris. He could separate one's depraved thoughts into a shadow and form an uncontrollable creature. Botas used it to erase the consciousness that didn't belong to him and escape the influence of a manipulator. Botas used it to erase the consciousness that didn't belong to him and escape the influence of the manipulator. At the same time, this was his counterattack. As long as the hidden spectator pathway demigod couldn't quickly resolve the shadow, the thoughts that she had fractured would gradually become independent, turning her half mad. Once he was done with the latent mental problem, he could teleport elsewhere. However, at this moment, his mind turned frantic. He felt the entire environment was making things difficult for him. As the silver book flipped in front of him, the entire forest collapsed with a loud bang. The black shadow almost collapsed. After the bout of mania, Botas's mood dropped to a nadir. He couldn't lift his spirits with regards to anything. He felt that he was useless. A burden to others and even the world. This is unironically how I feel about myself when I'm trying to go to sleep at night and I can't sleep till like 2 a.m. And I'm like, god damn, I'm just a fucking waste of space, bro. Holy fuck, let this eternal fucking damnation end, Jesus Christ. The reason why Cattleya first used the little match girl's magic wasn't only because she wanted to Mental Plague. In the previous battle, Botas had already been infected with Mental Plague, and it finally acted up. The reason why Cattleya first used the little match girl magic wasn't only because she wanted to interfere with Botas's teleportation, but also because she was helping Miss Justice conceal any traces, allowing her a virtual persona to infiltrate Botas's mind without triggering his spiritual intuition. A seed of Mental Plague planted secretly without triggering it. Precisely because of this, that when the sneak attack failed, Cattleya and Audrey dared to initiate the contingency plan. They retreated of their own accord, allowing Botas and Kisma to separate. Cattleya's final igniting of the final green vine appeared to create a huge commotion to attract the attention of the official Beyonders, making the enemy abandon their pursuit. but in fact it was to force the Saint of Secrets to leave as quickly as possible. This way, he didn't have the time to carefully examine and check his condition at a deeper level. Mental plague, brain rot, skibbity toilet. Dude, actually, dude, can you fucking imagine? Okay, can you imagine being like a fucking Gen Alpha fucking kid right now? Oh my god, your brain is literally just synced up to 7-second TikToks. You're like, teacher, you told me 2 + 2, but you didn't show me fucking Family Guy right underneath you talking, so I wasn't listening. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, oh my god, these kids are so cooked. Actually, dude. Catleya's, nope, already read that. Hence, at the critical moment of his teleportation, he had his doubts changed by Audrey's virtual persona. He directly came to the outskirts of Backland, an uninhabited kill box, which the Tarot Club had chosen. Justin, how's it going, man? Once he finished the manipulator virtual persona, the eruption of the mental plague came right on the heels of that. However, if he had used Reboot of Fate earlier, he definitely would have been able to return to a state where where there was no latent problem. However, he only decided to use this trump card when he was nearly killed by the Spear of Longinus. By that time, his mind world had already been infiltrated for far more than 3 seconds. He was dispirited and depressed, trying his best to resist the mental illness. It was at this moment he saw a bunch of surreal yarn balls appear out of the void. What the fuck? She's gonna sew him? At the back of the yarn ball, the bright colored yarn extended infinitely out. Following this, Catleya, who was wearing a purple patterned robe and hood, walked over from the spirit world and appeared in front of the Saint of Secrets. She was unable to determine the enemies that had done some level of interference, but she could establish a connection with the predetermined battlefield, so she could trace Audrey's virtual persona. The moment she arrived, Catleya closed her eyes, forming a phantom image that fell towards the coffin. That fell towards an invisible coffin. The already depressed Botas instantly felt exhausted. He couldn't help but close his eyes. Sleeping Beauty. Botas, Sleeping Beauty. That's always what I imagined him to be. Ah, this is perfect. On the other side, Audrey's virtual persona, which hadn't fully turned independent, was like a dark shadow, bringing with it a sense of depravity. She raised her hand and pinched her forehead. Her pupils silently turned vertical. They were pale like gold and cold. Botas's mind exploded as bubbles of light appeared on the surface of his body. Within the bubbles, arrays of starlight condensed into insects with their heads and tails fused into the void. Botas is gonna get woken up by a kiss from Ramiro, one of the homies. Psychiatrist Frenzy. This could trigger the target's emotions and even cause them to lose control. Botas had already been affected by mental plague and was in an extremely abnormal state. Following that, he was affected by Sleeping Beauty's magic and was in an extremely dispirited mood. Frenzy now triggered everything, making it difficult for him to control himself as he showed signs of losing control. Seizing this opportunity, Catleya opened her eyes, raised her right hand, and rapidly formed a handful of spinning star sand in her palm. Ramiro, you wouldn't kiss one of the homies to wake them up? You don't kiss the homies goodnight? Wow, I see how it is. The forest beneath the night became even darker. The crimson moon disappeared from the sky as stars appeared one after another. The stars scattered their rays of light, forming a magnificent pillar of light that enveloped the area around Botas and his surroundings. Do you, Wiz? I would if I had friends, Luvion. Checkmate. No, I'm just kidding. Kiss. In the midst of the shock, Botas became a little more awake. His figure rapidly turned into a blur as he kept blinking, creating more than 10 after images. However, he could not escape the starlight's envelopment, nor could he teleport. One by one, the starlight melted away and dissipated the different Botuses. Benjamin, how's it going, man? Finally, there was only one person left genuflecting, propping up his body with one palm as he struggled. Botus's body was in shambles, his eyes dark red as he appeared to be on the brink of insanity. Also me after at 2 a.m. when I can't fucking make this piece of shit work. And I just want to fucking... Oh my god. When the starlight was in its final moments, he blinked and dodged the follow-up attack from Audrey's virtual persona. He then kept blinking and creating doppelgangers beside Cattleya. One of the doppelgangers grabbed his left hand, distorting the area where Audrey's virtual persona was, concealing it to restrain the enemy. As for the other doppelganger, he spread open his arms and summoned a thick pillar of light summoned by a holy flame, letting it blast down into concealed space. During this process, Botus's other doppelganger had secretly removed the concealment of space. Hence, as soon as the shadow corresponding to Audrey's virtual persona was freed from the restriction, it was enveloped by a holy pillar of light, melting away. In his blinking state, Botus could use Beyonder powers at a speed faster than normal, but he couldn't sustain it for long. This was something achieved using his various Worms of Star. Elsewhere, the Saint of Secrets, Botus, was also attacking Cattleya. He had used various powers, and in the short span of a second or two, he had inundated his target with a barrage of attacks. Wait, quick question. So, can Klein now take a sequence, take the sequence 4 characteristic of the Secret Sorcerer? Because now that the pathways are basically interchangeable, and Klein is a sequence up, wouldn't it just be like having another sequence 4 characteristic of the Seer pathway? It would accumulate madness, sure, but could he have it and gain its powers? No? No. Too many issues? He's definitely going mad? Fuck. Damn. Can you imagine how useful this ability would be against Amon, though? Like, just being able to teleport away? Like, yeah, Amon's gonna be like, oh, I stole the distance between us. No, I'm right here. God. You can only have one sequence 4 characteristic? Really? Like, even at... No, that can't be true. Amon has like 50. Elsewhere, the Saint of Secrets Botus was also attacking Cattleya. He had used various powers in the short span of a time. In the short span of a second or two, he had inundated his target. This forced Cattleya to constantly use the Emperor's New Clothes magic to avoid it. A few seconds later, Botus's blinking finally slowed down and the mania in his heart eased. I mean, for his pathway, you can drink a sequence 4 of a pathway, you consume another one of another one, even if interchangeable. Oh, I see. Okay. Creeping Hunger is more dynamic from my point of view? How? How? How is it more dynamic? No, tell me now. Choman, I'm not gonna continue reading. Tell me now. How is it better than just having the powers internally? Devil, how's it going, man? If you drink Bizarro Sorcerer, that's it. You can drink Secret Sorcerer, that's cooked. Bullshit. At this moment, the grayish-white heavy scales suddenly appeared outside the forest. They were faintly discernible, as though they were forming an extremely impressive behemoth. Zero side effects with Creeping Hunger? Zero side effects? You don't have to, like, kill a person or anything, Kami? That's not a side effect for you? What, killing a random person every single time you use it is not enough? What the fuck, Kami? Thunder, how's it going, man? Long time no see. Historical creeping hunger, no side effects. Fuck, not a bad side effect. Bug is totally okay sacrificing a body here and there to the Lord. I don't know what Lord Bug worships, but all the same, he's like sacrifices. He's like, some of you will die, but that is a price I'm willing to pay. In the dark night, where the crimson moon was obscured, a nearly invisible stream of breath swept down from top to bottom, enveloping Botus and Cattleya. The two demigods felt as though they were struck by lightning as their psyche was torn apart. Their spirit bodies seemed to be penetrated. The breath of a mind dragon. Bro, I was so wrong. Fucking Audrey's carrying in here. What the fuck? With his mental state already in shambles and having used a couple of his trump cards, Botus's mind went blank. As the flashes flashed before his eyes, his body couldn't also help but tremble. As for Cattleya, she was carrying the Paper Moon figurine. This helped her bear the burden of psychic piercing. Although it was unable to completely eliminate the effects of Mind Dragon Breath, it did help her recover. This meant an opportunity in a battle between demigods. In just a second or two, Cattleya's eyes returned normal. As for Audrey, who was in her Mind Dragon form and hiding in the darkness, she cast another Mind Deprivation. Ardra, I was so fucking wrong, dude. Beware the spectator for real. She's just like, damn, why do I need to show up? I'm just gonna keep hitting you with with fucking mad ravings. Just fucking screaming in your ears at all times. And you're like, oh, God, stop it, please. Without any hesitation, Cattleya raised her right hand and condensed a terrifying spear stained with fresh blood and threw it at Botus. This time, Botus could no longer dodge or resolve the situation. His chest was pierced through the spear of Longinus. His body stiffened for a moment before it collapsed, turning into countless dazzling worms of star. Sacrifice one of them, now! Sacrifice one of them to the Grey Fog, now! Some of these worms of star vanished directly, while others devoured each other. Some fused into a distant spot, forming a new Botus. There was no rationality in his eyes, his body continuously collapsing, revealing an incomplete and very weak mythical creature form. At this moment, an illusory door appeared beside him. It had a grayish blue that had 7 brass locks. The illusory door quickly opened up as it spat out the jewelry box. The box of the great old ones, which had been exiled, had returned. With a crazed look in his eye, Botus caught the box, revealing a cruel and bloodthirsty smile as he tried to open it. The 3rd level. What's even the fucking point? By the way, if I'm reading this right, then that means this whole bullshit happened in 20 seconds. Because Botus said he could put away the box for 20 seconds. Yes, Ardra, thank you. Oh, okay. Since a lot of you weren't here, let me just talk about this really quickly. I'm probably gonna end up clipping this just for a thing, but okay. So the Great Old Ones. I was just thinking about this. So the box of the Great Old Ones. The Great Old Ones immediately makes me think of because Lord of the Mysteries has pulled a lot of inspiration from Bloodborne. And in Bloodborne, the Great Old Ones was like, and apparently someone was like, oh, this is all Lovecraftian horror? Fucking maybe, dude. I don't know. I don't read fucking H.P. Lovecraft. Kill me, okay? The Great Old Ones was like this race of like 5th, 6th dimensional beings or whatever the fuck that existed so long ago. So like, maybe that's, and it would make sense too, because this box was formed after an angel of the apprentice pathway just got fucking yeeted in his sleep. Like this guy just, an angel, and again of the apprentice pathway. Like killing this guy's gotta be nightmarish because he can insta teleport. And whoever this thing was just looked at him in its sleep and just went, it's over. It's Gojo over, for real, and just died. So I think it's got to be some fifth, sixth dimensional bullshit from way back in the day. I don't know. That's my theory. Thank you. All right, I'll post that as a short later, I guess. I don't know. Inauspicious box. Damn. That's what I... Damn, I was gonna make such a crude joke. It's fine. Oh, God. I was gonna say that's what I call my ex-girlfriend. That's so mean. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, that's... Oh, it's so easy, but fuck. Yeah, Kami, I try not to read any comments. Occasionally something will just pop up and I can't, and I just can't not read it, but I try to avoid them as best as possible. Sorry, that joke killed me. Adam, how's it going, man? How you doing? Oh, man, that's so fucking funny. Oh, God. Towards the return of Botas's Grade 0 sealed artifact, or the restoration of its normal condition, Leia and Audrey made a preliminary plan. After all, they weren't confident at killing a demigod so quickly. If not for the fact that Botas had fallen into a trap and suffered a lethal blow of mental plague, sleeping beauty, frenzy, putting him in a crazy, incoherent state, he had actually had many opportunities to teleport away. In that case, Leia and Audrey could only wait for Botas to return to a safe house and release Fours. Once the Eye of Mystery Prying provided them feedback, they could remotely create an opportunity for Miss Magician to summon the Historical Void projection. At this moment, facing Botas, who was on the path towards losing control with no way to reverse it, in his crazy attempts to activate fully activate a Grade 0 sealed artifact, Leia and Audrey on the right, on one right in the middle of the scene and the other hiding in the forest, simultaneously took action, taking out a translucent dark charm and reciting the words, "Star." This was a teleportation charm, following the patterns labeled in symbols of the record on Leimano's travel. Klein had made a charm himself. Since Sephira Castle could mobilize the powers of the Marauder pathway, there was no need not to respond to the pleas of the Apprentice domain. As for the materials needed for the charm, be it Mysticologist Leia or for Traveler Fours, they both had a certain level of understanding towards it. There was no need for the Mr. Fool to teach them. Yeah, Dr. Z, but it's also good for Fours, because I think this is the first time she's really coming into contact with a demigod. So it's good for her to get like a... Holy shit, like... I'm a powerhouse in my own right now because I'm a Sequence 5, but like... There's a chasm between me and demigods. Like, Klein unfortunately had this realization way too early, and Fours just hasn't had it all the way up until now, so it's good. She needs to chill out on the wine? Yeah, exactly. Adam! I don't mean to... how's it going, man? Tiny lag for me? Interesting. As for the material... nope. When the two of them teleported away with the triggering of the charm, having plans to come back after a minute or two, there was a cruel smile on Botas's face, his eyes filled with madness, as his action stiffened. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't open the third level of the box. I don't know how much of this is true. Adam, you doing okay, man? But only broke some bones? Jesus Christ. What happened, Adam? You okay, man? It was extremely heavy, as though it was enveloped and suppressed by layers of forces. There was no way to activate it. Suffering without meds or treatment, even though it happened in front of a hospital? Like, as in the... Are you in the waiting room? What do you mean? Did they just send you home? Are you... What? This made Botas feel like he was attempting to open a new world, not a box. In an instant, he sensed something. And the madness in his eyes disappeared. I went back home. Why? What happened? Why didn't you go to the hospital? What do you mean you don't trust Adam? There's no chance. Come on. What do you mean you don't trust them? Are you going back? In an instant, he sensed something, and the madness in his eyes disappeared. Extreme astonishment and fear arose in him. Tick-tock. Wisps of light slid down from Botas's body. When they touched the ground, they transformed into insects formed from resplendent starlight. Okay. Okay, so le plus intelligent, so like very smart, the smartest? I don't know what the first words are. Well, I mean, I know what le, but I don't know what that second word is. I don't know. The smart. Kami is bullying me. You say the word, Adam. You got hurt today. You say the word. We'll put him in a timeout. Okay, you say the word, Adam. We give some handicap perks over here. Or sorry. We don't say that anymore. My bad. Specially abled perks over here. The insect's body were bent into a semicircle, forming... Wait, what? No, hold on. Wisps of light slid down from Botas's body. When they touched the ground, they transformed into insects formed from resplendent starlight. The insect... Sorry, I'm just laughing at Kami's message. That was so good. Fuck. I think maybe the fact that it was in French and I had to wait for it to be translated just... Oh, it got me. Because I was like, the smart, very smart, what? The insect's body were bent into a semicircle, forming a magical glow that resembled illusory doors. Wait, I thought the opposite. I thought we were putting this. I thought we put the special people down. No, what? What? Romero, what the fuck do you think this is? At this moment, his incomplete mythical creature form collapsed and disintegrated. The two eyeballs of his eyes landed on the ground, stained with dust. These two eyeballs were frozen with indescribable looks of horror. They were maintained perfectly, completely different from the other parts of his body. A Sequence 4 Secret Sorcerer died just like that. Dude, think about it. Whatever this great old one is, like Cat Leia, Force, Geo, Audrey, all had to get together, fight their fucking ass off. And this great old one is like, bah, just kill him, it's fine. The box of the great old one, which had a silver black surface with many gems embedded in it, dropped beside Botas's eye, just like a jewelry box commonly seen in aristocratic families. Above the grey fog, Klein heaved a sigh of relief as they lowered the Sea God scepter. The girlies slayed the demigod, yeah! Now they're gonna go home to have girl dinner. Yes, Milosh, I'll do that tomorrow morning because I'm home tomorrow. I'm gonna call in sick, by the way. I'll do that before tomorrow's stream. He was just moments from activating the power of Sephira Castle and using the level of an angel to conjure Lightning Storm. He wanted to prevent Botas from operating the third level of the Box of the Great Old Ones. But the Saint of Secrets' mutually destructive counterattack failed. He encountered an unexpected failure. After Gio left the first battlefield, she immediately followed the plan and prayed to the Fool. With this, Klein found an opportunity to enter the world above the Grey Fog. And through the Crimson Star, corresponding to the Hermit and Justice, he monitored the battle. Yeah, Kami, the bank I work at employs like 90,000 people, I promise. There's like probably, at any given day, there's probably 50 people calling in fake sick. Go ahead. Who do you think was the MVP of this fight? You can say it's Audrey. I think you give it to Cattleya. She did take the brunt of it. Audrey, it's easy to say she was doing a lot because, like, Audrey, I think it's easy to say because, like, oh, she was in the background and stuff, but Cattleya kind of did rock their shit. Dude, if nothing else, she summoned the spear that killed Jesus. What the fuck? I think that aura just alone gives her MVP. That's like prime LeBron shit right there. What do you mean? That's prime, that's Kobe Bryant hitting 50 on his last game type of shit right there. What do you mean? Kami says we was faking the banks. Who the fuck? Yeah, exactly. Oh, that was good. That was very good, Arter. After Gio left the first battlefield, she immediately followed the plan and prayed to Mr. Fool. With this, Klein found an opportunity to enter the world above the Great Fog. Through the Crimson Star, corresponding to the Hermit and Justice, he monitored the battlefield. As she moved to the second battlefield, Audrey found an opportunity to pray so that Klein could use her Crimson Star to interfere. This was the reason why Audrey arrived at the destination later. According to what Erides said, the third level of the Box of the Great Old One contained something terrifying. I thought that the true creator had given it to him to create a terrifying disaster, so as to showcase the true colors of an evil god. Who knew that it just couldn't even be opened? Klein glanced at the Crimson Star representing the magician and discovered it was covered in a layer of black ash. It seemed to have coagulated, making it impossible for him to see the scene inside to confirm Miss Magician's condition. But if this is true, that this is some great old one, theoretically in my mind, a great old one would probably stand above a Sequence Zero, probably on the level of like a super god or something. Maybe higher, but I don't even know if that's possible. We're gonna say super god, okay? But then at this point, this wouldn't even be a fucking Sequence Zero artifact. This would be like a sequence, or sorry, this wouldn't be a grade 0 sealed artifact. This would be like a grade -1 artifact. Just some crazy shit. This was the first time he had encountered such a situation. Evidence of how a high level and odd the Box of the Great Old Ones was. As for the Sleeping Beauty, magic, and the Spear of Longinus that he saw, he came up with some ideas. After learning the power of mystical reenactment at the private gathering, Klein overturned his speculations about the fairy tale magic that Bernadette had. He originally believed that the Emperor had specially created the stories for his daughter based on the fairy tales from Earth, or that after Bernadette's father passed away, she reenacted the fairy tales he had told her as a way to express her grief. From the looks of it, the answer wasn't this. Some of the fairy tales from before the First Epoch must have been mysterious. This meant that those fairy tales originated from the mysterious incidents that happened in real life. It's just the name of the box though. Hey there, this might have worked on me in like volume 2. I have been fooled too much and too often. This is... I don't trust anyone anymore. Not gonna fall for it. They were recorded by writers and further embellished. This corresponds to the prophecy regarding the time when the stars are right. The mystery has never left and has always been around. It was just that in the Earth era, before the First Epoch, they were suppressed by some kind of power or sealed. Not even Jack Romero. Fucking Leonard strikes again, actually. If that really is the case, some of the legends and stories on Earth have been can be explained from another angle. It's no wonder there's a Spear of Longinus. I wonder if Chinese fables of the ethereal utopia Peach Blossom Springs is involved in mystery. I'll tell Ma'am Hermit later, see if she can create some magic. Can she create Yahweh? Or no, not Yahweh. What the fuck? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is the staff of the Wukong called? Wait, Yahweh's the fucking god in Hebrew. Fuck. It's some like fucking dumbass name. I can never remember. Wukong staff. This can't be that. That's fucking crazy. Look at that. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Sea piercing. There's like another name for it. Am I crazy? I don't know. Whatever. It's fine, dude. Can she make that? Because that'd be so goated. I mean, I know technically it's not even a staff. I think it was considered like a pillar of the universe or some bullshit. I don't even know. I think it was some fucking crazy, but like it wasn't even a staff. It was some crazy bullshit that he was able to lift. Ying Jubong? Is that it? I don't know. Maybe that's it. It's the needle that keeps the sea calm? What was Wukong staff? I don't know. We'll look at it later. It's fine. I thought it was a... oh, maybe it's a pillar that held up the sea or something. Maybe. I feel like it was a pillar of some kind. That's what I remember. Hey there! That's what it is! Yes, you're right. That's spot on. That's what it is. That's what I'm remembering. That's what I'm remembering. Yes. Yes. Pillarmen, true. Hold on. I wonder if Bernadette will become a mysticologist before the Emperor became a mysticologist before the Emperor perished. If she did, it's hard to say if these fairy tale magics were created by the Emperor, or a sequence one beyonder of the Mystery Prior pathway, or by Queen Mystic. But no matter what, the Emperor should have discovered that these fairy tales were also mysterious in his later years, and also that he could draw power from them. Well, there's no corresponding diary entry from Bernadette. I couldn't see the Emperor's reaction in his guess. One of the reasons he insisted on going to the moon is to verify things. It's a pity that most of the myths are fake. There's no way to draw on their power. The novels of the internet internet era are the same. In the collapsed forest, Cattleya and Audrey faced the abnormal changes suffered by Botas and tacitly gave up injecting their spirituality to use the charms. Despite maintaining her Dragon of Transformation state, Audrey was still hiding in the darkness outside the forest, wary of any accidents or official demigods who might have sensed something. As for Cattleya, she was pushed to the spot where Botas had died, carefully avoiding the Box of the Great Old Ones. Due to the fact that a scribe could use many powers, a demigod-level sealed artifact would often have extremely negative effects. Apart from the Box of the Great Old Ones, Botas only left behind a black pocket, which seemed to be part of his robe. Wait, oh my god, steal his robe! Oh my god, this is like in Skyrim when you kill someone and you take all their armor and you leave them naked just there. Oh my god, take his robe. It's goated. Also, there's also a Gathered Beyonder characteristic, 2 eyeballs and about 10 Worms of Star. Most of the Worms of Star have been destroyed. What, Kami? They have better armor. Or they have like worse armor, but you sell the armor. What do you mean? What? Why you gotta make it so weird? What do you mean? I'm just saying take the robe because it's like infinite storage space. What? And in Skyrim or any RPG, you should be taking the armor. They're of great value. You can sell them. What do you mean? Don't make me the weird guy here. What the fuck, Kami? Why are you making this so weird? I thought the French were supposed to be so open with their bodies and shit. What the fuck? He's gonna be like, he actually takes the armor in Skyrim, guys. God, what a God, get your shit together. MT, how's it going, man? All right, sounds good, Milosh. Will do. Considering the horror displayed by the box of the Great Old Ones, as well as the fact that Botas was a high-ranking member of the Aurora Order, which could be blessed by a god, Cattleya didn't rushly pick up items. She was afraid that an accident would happen. Previously, during the private gatherings, they had communicated with each other how to handle certain things. That was, if they had the time and opportunity, they would first sacrifice the items to Mr. Fool and then distribute it above the Great Fog. After all, many items might bring about unknown dangers if they were to come into contact with items with unknown negative effects. Also, a high probability that Botas had a Grade 0 sealed artifact. Sometimes, merely knowing the existence of a sealed artifact of this level was enough to cause sudden death. So you're telling me, like, fours could have, like, a really really vivid imagination. She thinks of, like, a thing, and then suddenly that Sequence 0 sort of artifact actually exists, and she just insta has this aneurysm. No worries, DSV. Thanks for popping by, man. I'll see you tomorrow. According to what the Star Leonard had said, it was best not to come into contact with such artifacts. It was best not to ask, describe, or pry into it. Without any hesitation, Cattleya took out silver candles and other ritual items from her pocket and set up a simple ritual. During this process, she pinched her lip, whistled, and created an invisible servant helper. After quickly reciting the Fool's honorific name and using spiritual materials to open the door of sacrifice, Cattleya heaved a sigh of relief. She got the servant to move the box of the Great Old Ones, the black pocket, the 2 eyeballs, the gathered characteristic, the 9 worms of star over to the altar. With a whoosh, the items passed through the door. When Cattleya saw this, she pinched her lower lip with her thumb and index finger, preparing to whistle once again to dispel the servant. But amidst the whistling, the servant remained motionless, as though it had nothing to do with Cattleya. The hermit's eyelids twitched as she clenched her right hand into a fist and pushed it to her mouth, preparing to use the Horn of Magic. At this moment, a blazing silvery white appeared out of nowhere at the altar. Layers of bolts of lightning formed a destructive storm, enveloping the invisible servant. All of this calmed down as the mutated servant was destroyed. Cattleya heaved a sigh of relief and thanked the Fool sincerely. She then followed the ritual's ending procedure and packed up her belongings. She used the Snow White magic, which was closer to a prophecy technique, to clear the scene of traces. At this moment, Audrey had already used the teleportation charm from before and left. Cattleya looked around, considering that Mr. Fool might need something more ritualistic, took out a card from her pocket and threw it into the middle of the forest. The card was half inserted into the soil, revealing the image of an old man holding a glass lamp and the staff he explored alone. And the staff as he explored alone, the Hermit of the Tarot cards. Absolute cinema, dude. Bro, can you imagine? The red gloves are coming to investigate and they're like, oh my god, it's the secret organization. And Leonard is like, the secret organization? We know nothing about it. It is the craziest thing. We've been investigating them for so long, yet we know nothing at all. I was beginning to suspect that the Sherlock fellow had something to do with it, but there's no trace of him. And they have struck yet again. Truly mysterious. They are incredible. This is an organization that spans through the eons. Perhaps they have always existed, hiding in the shadows of time. Is this a... How would this be a Trump impression? What do you mean? Trump, talks like this. This is incredible. This is the most incredible organization that has ever existed. We are attempting to contact them because we want them to enter our great country and pay us their great taxes, because I'm sure they make a lot of money. I would know a lot about money, you know. I've made a lot of money. Like, that's Trump, you know. They have completely different cadences and speaking styles. Trump describes a thing like several times. Like, take anything, if you're trying to do like a Trump, it's like it was a great organization, a massive organization. They had so many people. They were all so tall, incredible. I've never met so many tall people. I'll tell you what, I'm a pretty tall guy, but I felt pretty short there. I'm 6'4". I'm not 6'4" actually, but I'm 6'4", and I felt short over there. They've got some incredible people, good people. Can we get a moment of silence for Botas? Fuck no, fuck that guy. As always, if you guys are new to the stream, thank you so much for popping by. Consider joining our Discord. We get up to some shenaniganery if you're up to it. Luvion is really working on the clips here. Jesus Christ, this motherfucker's averaging like 10 clips a day. This guy's crazy. Although there is a good this is very nice. Okay, I'll replace the tarot cards on screen with these. These are nice. In about a little bit longer than 12 hours, Dr. Z, I'd probably be looking at like 13-14 hours. I'll give you guys a heads up when I wake up, of course, but yeah. This is the only thing Milos said he wanted me to fucking... Oh, on Wplay. Oh, the one... Oh, in Serbia. I see. Okay. That's cute. Next time, try to read 200 plus chapters. Oh, yeah, no problem. That was... Yeah, that was the plan anyway. You're good. Thank you. Thank you for popping by. General, I mean? Check the General? What happened? So if anyone remembers how the Dragon King, Dragon of Nightmare was introduced, yeah, of course. Al-Zuhad. The dragon, the legend has it that he mimics some fairy tales of Earth like Sleeping Beauty, and so as Dr. Z mentioned, it could be the influence of before the First Epoch and the First Epoch's era. That's really cool. That's really cool. Nightmare might find them in the collective sea of subconscious and try to realize them to understand them better, hence making those legends. Can I click on this? Nightwalker? And this next stream at 12:07. Luvion had it set to 12:06. We can do 12:07 before stream or after stream. If you guys want to play Mage Arena, let me know. Okay, I'm home tomorrow. I'm so excited. Don't click. No, don't click. Okay. Wait, Nightwalker saying sure. Okay, we'll err on the side of caution. I won't click it. We need more people. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Okay, we'll play tomorrow. Okay, guys, we'll end stream there. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Man, this is so cool. Like, even our normal streams now, I think at peak we're at like 50 people. That's awesome. That's fucking goated, dude. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Have a great rest of your day or nights. I'll catch y'all in like 12-13 hours. And then we can do constant day streams, because then I'm off work. No day stream Friday, maybe, probably none Saturday. But then we're chilling. Yeah, that's it. Bye, guys. Love you.